So, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we did one. So it's been a hot minute.
Well, I worked a 6-day straight span from Sunday to Saturday.
Yeah.
It's now Tuesday. I had Sunday off and today off, but you had to work Sunday.
Yep.
And we both had to work Monday.
Yep.
So today's the first day we've had off together.
That we felt like sort of.
In quite a while, well over a week.
Yeah.
And the weather has been reasonably nice tonight, so.
Yeah, it's been raining all
we've
of
got
last week.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of rain, so when we have had time off together, we've had a lot of rain. So, and on top of all that, Mom and I have been working on a project restoring our kitchen. Obviously, I can insert photos here.
And there will also probably be
little
a
B-roll
dedicated
added.
video on it.
Yeah, a little B-roll will be added to this vlog showing the changes we made.
It looks nice.
It does
we
look
just
nice.
Finished it today.
Well, it's not finished.
Mostly finished.
It's about 90% finished.
Yeah.
We got some finishing touches we still got to do. There's one piece of trim around just above the backsplash that I want to paint. It's an eggshell color now. I want to paint it white. And we've got to touch up some spots that got dinged when putting everything back together. So we got a couple small touch-up areas that we got to take care of. But other than that, we're pretty much done that project.
And I've been working on sewing masks for Mom's work. And that's almost done. I just have to...
That's taking up your time, yeah, because she's going back to work
tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow, but they open, I think, on May 1st.
Yeah.
But it's going to take them a couple days of prep to get the restaurant up and ready to open on May 1st.
But I just finished the last of the masks that they needed over the weekend. I just have to cut some straps for them.
Yeah.
To finish them up. And then I'll probably make one more to do a little tutorial.
But they're going to be open. They're going to be open for
takeout.
Takeout only.
Takeout and delivery, I think.
Takeout, delivery, and they're reopening with all employees wearing masks at all times.
Some of which I made. They also ordered a few masks, but they were having trouble getting it in. But yeah. So that's a project that's almost done.
Yep.
I can stop consuming your office with my sewing supplies.
Yeah, my office is a wreck right now. I did manage to get a unboxing video shot for a couple of new products that I bought. A Wise Fitbit style band and a Wise scale.
Yeah.
Wise is the company that makes, well, they got their start making little cube-shaped cameras.
They're pretty good little cameras too.
Pretty good little cameras for the price. Everything that they make is got a reasonable price, and that's one of their key business objectives is to make good products at an affordable price.
Yeah.
And everything I've bought from them has been really good. So I decided to give the Wise band a try and a Wise scale.
Yeah. How's that going so far?
Good. The scale's pretty cool. It connects to your phone through Bluetooth. And so does the band. Very basic functionality on the band.
Yeah.
But for the price you pay, it's only 25 bucks for the band, plus shipping.
What sort of battery life are you getting on your band?
I put it on a week ago, and it's still got 55% of its battery life.
So
I've had it on my wrist for almost a week.
You look at it all that often though?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Oh.
Because when I get text messages and
it comes through on your band.
And phone calls, it comes through on my band. The only thing it doesn't do, and I don't know, maybe it's something they can build into it in the future, in terms of text messages, if it's an MMS message, that doesn't come through on the band. A multimedia message. which all of our group,
Yeah,
our family,
group text is-
our family is in a group text. So all of those messages don't come through on the ban,
Well, that could.
but a direct text message does come through.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why
Well,
that is.
it's a new product, and Wise is constantly adding software updates to their products
Yeah.
that improve it. So maybe that's something that's coming in a later
Yeah.
update.
Piddling.
She's got a lot of excitement. She's excited.
Well, she
hasn't
is-
gone for a walk.
She's a little muted tonight because she's drugged up a little bit. She's got a bit of an infection that she's trying to get off of. Not a coronavirus.
No.
So, speaking of which,
Yeah.
how's everything going at work with that?
Interesting, especially as we start to head into like Mother's Day, because that's usually a big holiday for us.
Yep.
Because in the area, all of the colleges graduate on Mother's Day traditionally. All of those ceremonies have been canceled.
Yep.
And then our floral department does a lot of like Mother's Day type of stuff.
Yep. But-
Just for like regular Mother's Day. So
But-
it's usually a huge holiday for our store. But
that's, well, on top of Mother's Day, you have,
yeah.
you mentioned graduations for colleges.
Mm-hmm.
You've got proms.
Yep.
You've got weddings.
Yep.
None of that stuff is happening right
No.
now. So,
We haven't taken an order for weddings in weeks, and we've been told not to take orders for weddings.
yeah. Yeah, you don't want to contribute to the...
Yeah.
We had a 70 sub order the other day at our
Yikes.
store. But that was for a company. It's a warehouse. It's a call center / warehouse for sports equipment. And they have a warehouse, and they basically treated all their employees for lunch for working through the pandemic. So
That's nice.
yeah, so it's not a situation where we were making 70 subs for a big party. Basically, they were setting up the
Just a grab and go.
yeah,
sort
kind of a
thing.
grab and go kind of situation where they have the break room. Although I'm hearing, I was talking to my store manager. Speaking of break room, I'm hearing that the state may close all workplace break rooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if that's the state that's suggesting that. He kind of made it sound like it was the state. I don't know if it's our company.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's small break rooms. I know in our break room we can't stay 6 feet apart.
Oh, it
So
was
they opened
awful
up-
in our store.
Yeah, they opened up a conference room that's right next to our break room.
Yeah.
But I haven't been taking my breaks in the break room anyway.
Well, here's the situation with us. Our store is under construction, right? It's getting a remodel.
Yeah.
Well, they took out the public bathrooms. They've been out for since
yeah.
before the pandemic started, and the public bathrooms basically became. We have employee bathrooms in the break room,
Mhm.
and those became the public bathrooms for the last couple of months. So not only, and it's just one male, one female bathroom for all the employees and all the customers.
Yeah.
It's been so frustrating for all the employees because we're
They have to
basically
wait
having
on
to,
customers.
it's constantly from 11 to 7 every day. There's always a line at the break room.
Sucks.
So
'Cause
the bathrooms.
Those bathrooms only are like one toilet.
Well,
There's no stalls.
because the bathrooms are in the break room, they moved, and there's a conference room off the break room, but the conference room is only about the size of our living room.
Yeah.
Like maybe 10 by 20. It's a very small room. And they moved our entire break room into the conference room.
Ooh.
So there's been times where I've basically just grabbed a chair and sat outside the conference room to have my break and just eat off my lap because
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the conference room when there's 8 or 9 employees in that 10 by 20 room all sitting around a table.
Yeah.
That's just a little too tight for my liking.
Well, usually I take my breaks out in my car because the store's usually really cold.
Yeah.
They're running the AC like all the time.
So you warm up.
Yeah, that's a way for me to just kind of like go and like lay in the sun or something.
Yeah.
Just sort of like
Well,
try to get
a
little
week
bit
ago,
warm.
they finally finished the new public restrooms.
It's not a lot.
They finally finished the new public restrooms, so they're the public is now going to the restroom in the new restrooms,
Yeah.
and they're no longer coming to our break room. So they've since moved our break room back out into the break room, which is a very large room, large enough to have several tables in the room. So, so we're no longer packed in like sardines.
That's good.
But recently, what they have done is they've shut off the water to all the fountains, water fountains.
Yeah, we've had that. We haven't had water fountains in a while.
Yep. They've also unplugged and put away the coffee maker. Well, it's still on the counter, but there's a sign on it saying
Oh.
don't use it.
Oh, I see.
So basically anything there's a water cooler in there.
Oh, they still let us have our water cooler.
We don't have a water cooler. So basically, if you want any water, you have to, they are letting us go over to we have a Starbucks in our store.
Mm-hmm.
You can go over and get, provided they're not busy,
Yeah.
which is another story. Provided they're not busy, you can go over and get a cup of water from Starbucks, and they'll pour it for you and make it that way.
Yeah, they haven't shut off
In a cup.
our water dispenser.
So, but because the Starbucks situation,
Yeah.
our Starbucks normally is fairly slow in our store, but we've recently basically tripled our sales for one reason. In the town that we're in, and it's a town in between Durham and Greensboro, one of the towns, there are 4 Starbucks in that town. There's one inside Target.
Yeah.
There's one inside our store.
Yeah.
There's one freestanding one down the street from our store.
Oh,
Like
did
it's
the
a-
freestanding one's
It's a
closed?
freestanding one. And then there's a freestanding one over near where the Target is, because the Target is in a very,
Yeah.
it's in Alamance Crossing, where
Yeah. A large business district.
it's basically a commercial district with
Yeah.
shopping malls and stuff around it.
Yeah.
Well, every one of those Starbucks except for ours has closed, including the one inside Target.
Yeah, Target has been like on top of their game as far as sort of their
So-
response to it.
So we're the only Starbucks open in town, and they have had lines all day, every day. People coming into our store to get their Starbucks fix. The Starbucks lead there was telling me, she's like, there's some seriously addicted people because they're coming in. And some of them are getting upset because our Starbucks is not a,
Full service.
it's a kiosk. It's not a full, like you would get at a
Yeah.
freestanding, standalone with full
so it
restaurant
doesn't
drive-through
have
and all that.
all the bakeries and sandwiches.
It doesn't
and-
have this, we don't
all
do
of that.
sandwiches. We have a little bit of pastries,
Yeah.
very little bit. It's a small little tiny bread box cabinet, and that's it. So we're very limited on pastries. We don't even have all the capabilities for all the drinks that they do.
Yeah.
So we've had some ticked off customers that they can't get their favorite drink anywhere in that town because our Starbucks is the only one open. I told her to tell customers, you should feel lucky you got at least this.
Yeah. There's a reason they're closed down everywhere.
Because
else
one
in
of our
town.
stores in Greensboro, the Starbucks, is run by Starbucks employees. It's one of our big stores,
Yeah.
like our super flagship stores.
Yeah.
That one is actually Starbucks employees, whereas the rest of them are employees of our company.
Yeah. That are just working.
Well,
in
that
the-
Starbucks in that store is shut down.
Oh, so is it like a Starbucks thing?
Yep,
that they're
Starbucks
shutting
made
down?
the call to shut down their thing.
But
so-
the independent ones can make their own decisions.
Right. There's a caveat with that though.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that all the standalone Starbucks are closed, they call them corporate stores, all the
Yeah.
corporate stores are closed. There's also very limited in terms of supplies. I don't think our warehouse is getting supplied from Starbucks, because every time our Starbucks does an order, because she does order a bunch of frozen other pastries and stuff come in frozen through our warehouse, she's getting less than half of what she orders.
So you're not even selling real Starbucks. I mean, the coffee is probably like Starbucks coffee, but
Yeah,
your
she's
pastries
they're
are a lie.
yeah, they do their own. No, they're Starbucks pastries. They come from Starbucks,
Oh.
but they send them to our warehouse, and then we
there's-
distribute them from there. But the coffee and all that stuff, actually, they do an order. They can only order once a week, that stuff, and they have to. So that created a problem when they
Yes.
just all of a sudden shut down all the corporate Starbucks. Our sales went up overnight, and when you can only order once a week, they didn't see it coming. They didn't have any kind of heads up.
Wasn't any warning.
Wasn't any warning that hey, your business is going to go through the roof because you're the only Starbucks in town. Basically, they started selling out of everything because they're set up for so much business, and now all of a sudden they're doing triple that.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of storage space in our store for product, so they don't carry a whole lot of backstock in product and beans and all that stuff. So we're having
Starbucks is good, but I don't get like going to go there every day.
oh, there are people that go every single morning.
God.
There's one guy, he's kind of an ass. He comes in every single morning, drives in his Beamer, comes in, gets his Starbucks, sometimes gets a breakfast sandwich over in the deli, and he's an ass about it too. He hates to wait, and
Then why is he going to a grocery store to get Starbucks?
he hates to wait long for the breakfast sandwich. I don't know how he is over there. I've heard he's kind of a pain over there too, in Starbucks, but hates to wait for his breakfast sandwich. But then I've seen him go out once he gets his coffee and his whatever to eat. Sometimes he gets a pastry through them, and sometimes he gets a breakfast sandwich in the deli. He just stands outside his car to have it because he's got to smoke a cigarette, and he won't smoke in his fancy Beamer
Oh.
before he goes to work.
Okay.
He does this every single day, 5 days a week.
Wow. It's an expensive breakfast.
Yep. I think he works for LabCorp, I think somebody said.
Okay.
So. You were just smelly today. Enjoying her walk. Whoop.
Don't step on her.
So, anyway.
Oh. So, there's a Wegmans that's opening up down the road from my store. Brand new Wegmans, they're building, and I drive past it every day.
When they started putting up the building?
They did, yeah.
Hmm.
It's going up quick too. Like all the steel frames are already there. And
Oh, wow.
they're going full steam ahead. I don't know when it's supposed to open, but it's going up.
That's
My
We've
store
been
is
waiting for that.
shaking
They've been doing groundwork forever on that place.
Yeah, I don't know why the groundwork is taking so long, but it's going up quick now. And of course, they're a pretty major competitor for us, so
Yeah, well, they're a competitor of ours too.
I think they're a competitor for just about everybody.
Here's the thing with Wegmans. Their stores are fantastic. They're awesome.
amazing.
They're amazing. But the prices,
Expensive.
ooh. So if you got a lot of disposable income and you want to get
Which
service,
our customers do.
you're gonna love Wegmans.
Yeah.
But if you're a bargain shopper and you're pinching pennies to get by,
Yeah.
and you're paycheck to paycheck, you'll go to Wegmans a couple of times until you start, racking up.
Seeing the bills.
start seeing how fast your checking account is being drained
Yeah.
for the same amount of groceries as what you were getting at, I don't know, Walmart. And the Walmart crowd will be going back to Walmart.
It'll be
Not
interesting.
long after they open.
It would be interesting to see how they actually open it, because usually they attract pretty big crowds in this area.
Huge
when
crowds.
when they open a store.
Because this is only the second store
Yeah.
in the triangle.
The
only
next
other one
closest
is
one is like 45 minutes away
It's
from
in,
here.
it's in Raleigh, yeah.
So This is gonna be the closest Wegmans,
To
like
this,
anywhere in this area.
to this, yeah. So people are gonna go all out from Durham to Chapel Hill, all over the place.
Yeah.
Hillsborough, all those towns are all gonna go to this Chapel Hill one.
Which will be interesting considering the times we live in, you know?
Yeah. Well, they're probably not gonna open till late summer. They're probably got a goal to open
July
up
or August.
when the students come back to school.
Yeah.
If they come back to school.
That's true.
So
Because I am in a university town pretty close to the
Cha-
university housing.
Chapel
and-
Hill has a fairly large university.
Yeah.
Some of you may have heard of it, called UNC. Yeah,
DUNC.
the UNC, Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what, 20, 30,000 undergrads
Oh yeah.
at that school? It's a big school.
More and doctorates.
Yeah.
It's a pretty large campus, pretty large school.
Yep. So
Basically,
there's enough pie for everybody.
yeah.
Even all UNC students aren't going to be able to afford to
No.
shop there, because not everybody who goes to UNC has a lot of money.
Yeah.
They make it a point in there. We found out for sure they make it a point to try to bring in students from all over the state.
Yeah.
If too many people from one county applied to that school,
AKA our county,
It-
because we're a neighboring county.
it becomes, well, we are in
Yeah. We're
Chapel-
in its home county.
Chapel Hill is in Orange County.
Yeah.
We live in Orange County, and
Usually just about every
it is
person in my high
super
school.
competitive, right?
Yeah.
Super competitive to get into Chapel Hill.
in Orange County.
Yeah. You had the grades and everything to get in
Oh,
there,
yeah.
but because it's so competitive,
I was
you didn't get denied,
No.
but you didn't get accepted
no,
either.
I got tired of being on wait lists.
You got waitlisted, and we had to make a decision. So
I got waitlisted twice.
yeah.
I got waitlisted for the early application and then for the regular
Yep.
one.
And I know there are kids that got in with worse credentials than you,
Oh yeah.
but because they live further away,
Yeah.
they were able to get in, or they knew somebody.
Yeah.
We know of at least one case where
So-
somebody knew somebody at the school
so-
and that person we were sure had worse credentials than her,
yes.
and they got in.
Somebody I knew used to babysit for the dean of admissions.
Yeah.
So
So they got in and she didn't.
yeah.
We don't need to get too specific
Oh, yeah.
on who it was.
No, I'm not salty about it. I'm pretty happy with
Yeah,
the
you
decisions I
you
made.
had you had a good time at App State.
Yeah. It's a nice little school. Nice little
And
campus.
in your senior year, you had the pleasure of watching your school
yeah.
beat UNC in
Oh,
football.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was nice.
yeah.
I wasn't at that game because reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I had to.
You were
I think
working
I had- Yeah, I had to produce my show.
you were working
I
on a
think.
senior project or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
I was either working on my senior film or producing my show.
Yeah.
But I was busy. I did watch it on TV though. Parts of it. The
I
end
was
of it.
at work that day. You kept sending me messages, updates. Even though I kept an update on my phone on that game too. I would have loved to go to that game.
Oh, it would have been nice. I used to work in the athletic department. Oh, frog. With the broadcasting team, I used to run cameras and do all of that. And a couple of people were able to get sideline passes
Yeah.
and travel with the team.
Yeah.
But I did not ask, and I was not one of them.
No. You probably could have if you pushed the issue
Oh,
though.
I probably could have.
Yeah.
But I think I was editing something. I don't know. I had a lot going on during that
You
time.
did see a couple of players from your football team got drafted though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
had
I
a-
got drafted into the NFL this weekend.
Yep. The NFL went through with their draft. They did it online. I think they had the biggest ratings ever for any sports draft.
It's because that's all that's going on.
Well,
for
there hasn't
sports
been
right now.
there hasn't been any sports in 2 months. People are starved. I'm hearing guys talk about it at work. they're just starved for anything live. Everybody's tired of watching classic games, replay
Reruns
games,
of baseball.
reruns of games that happened years ago. You know, it's not the same.
No.
We're all sick of watching that stuff. And yeah, we've been talking about it at work. We're just starved for anything football. And we were all going like, "Did you watch the draft?" Yeah, I watched the whole damn thing. I'm like, I never watched the draft.
Every round.
Never watched the
Even
draft,
boring ones.
but this year we all watched the draft start to finish. Every last bit of it.
So yeah.
Just because it's the only thing live going. And it was weird just watching everybody in their homes doing the draft. Like the commissioner was in his home.
Yeah.
And all the players, they had cameras set up for all the kids that were getting drafted, and some homes were much nicer than others.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Well, what was the highest App State? Dude, it was like third round,
it
right?
was the first pick in the second round,
Second round.
so 33rd overall.
Huh, not
And then
bad.
there was another guy drafted in, I think, the 6th round. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, we've been
So.
doing pretty good in bowl games lately.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
you're-
the entire
you're-
time I was there, we hadn't lost a bowl game.
You were
so
ranked
I
all
went
year
to-
in the top 25. So, I mean, you can't do that without at least a couple of players that are NFL caliber players.
Yeah, I didn't go to this year's last bowl game because I was
Not in the band anymore.
not in the band anymore.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to work
Yeah.
the broadcast department my senior year.
Oh, and
But
if you want to see her playing in the band, well, we do have
Yeah.
videos on our channel.
but
I'll link them in the description below.
for 3 years I went to App State bowl games.
What'd you do? You slipped right out of your harness. You can't pull her forward.
And I have,
She's pretty happy about it too.
I can't.
She needs to cooperate.
She's not cooperating.
Be careful. There's a pile of poop right
Yeah,
under her
see.
nose.
Okay.
That's not her poop, by the way.
No, it's somebody else's.
Yeah. There, we got the harness back on. Yeah, if you try to pull her forward, that'll
No, I
slip right
didn't-
over
I
her
didn't
head.
know she was stopped.
Yeah. You can pull her all you want backwards,
Yeah.
but if you try to pull her forward,
There, crisis averted. What were you talking
she could have
about,
just run
football?
away. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, we were just rambling about football anyway. But yeah, draft is the first live sporting event of any kind in 2 months,
Yeah.
and we were all watching it.
Oh yeah.
So I think people are anxious to get back to it, and I'm hearing rumblings that both the NBA and the NHL are getting ready to bring their players back to their team facilities to begin. Since they've been off for a couple of months, they can't just come right back and start playing games right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the players have been left to just be able to train at home, and
It's not quite the same.
In terms
quite
of-
same level.
in terms of hockey, most of the guys haven't had anywhere to skate, so all they
That's
can
true.
do is dry land.
They've all been.
Yeah.
All the rinks are closed.
All the rinks are closed, and I'm sure some of the guys that are, come from small towns in Canada and Europe,
They can
Finland,
find a
Sweden.
pond.
No, they can find they have connections.
Yeah. They
The
can find
hometown
someone
rink.
with keys.
Right, hometown rink will let them in and let them skate by themselves, with the doors locked and nobody coming
Yeah.
in. But other than that, the NHL has to assume that most players have not been skating.
Yeah.
But they have been working out as much as they can at home. So,
Yeah.
but there's limits to that. Only the top end players are set up to have nice gyms in their houses. The lower end players that are still working their way up through are not going to have
Yeah.
that kind of setup. And they rely on team facilities or college facilities where they went to college, but none of those are open.
Yeah.
So they're going to be coming back. Probably have a mini training camp,
Rusty.
little couple of weeks to get everybody back into shape, and then
Finish
we'll
off the
see from there. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. They still haven't announced anything officially, so we don't know what's going to happen. So I've heard that, but I've also heard rumblings that they're going to cancel the whole thing, at least in example of hockey.
Yeah.
They're going to cancel the whole thing and look to just restart in November.
Yeah. I've heard that the MLB is...
But I had an interesting idea.
No.
Yeah. For NBA and hockey, a lot of the players have said they don't want to play in empty buildings in front of no fans because they draw a lot of energy from that crowd.
Yeah.
So my idea was...
An empty hockey rink is
Yeah.
kind of depressing.
My idea is to set up, they don't have to be iPads, but tablets in every seat. Maybe Android tablets. Put Skype on every one of them. And allow the fans to Skype in, and then feed the audio from all those Skypes into the PA system.
Oh God.
So they see faces in the seats. They're virtual faces, but have that, and then the sounds that those fans make, cheering and score, when they score and hits and all that, have that be played through the PA system.
I'm just thinking
live.
of how much of a nightmare that audio setup would be to get all of those inputs. I mean, that sounds...
20,000 sources coming into one mixer.
It sounds a little impossible. But I'm sure there are ways.
You're the video production. You tell me how to get it done.
I did. So I experimented with, like, I had a video game show.
How many channels is the biggest mixer you've ever seen? 200, 300?
Yeah, but I haven't used that many.
Yeah.
I know in the studio I tried to do, like, we had, I think, 6 people playing a video game all along a couch, and I remember it was the most horrendous thing ever to set up the audio for 6 people and have it be reasonably level. And that was my biggest struggle with it.
Yeah.
In a small studio.
In this case, it wouldn't have to be level. All it would have to be is loud enough to be that person, as if that person was sitting in the seats.
Oh yeah.
And then combine all those voices to make it super loud. But here's another issue that I came up with that would be a problem, and that is lag.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the team scores a goal, home team scores a goal, there would be at least a 10-second lag before the sound of the fans cheering would be played through the audio system.
Your idea is all well and good, but I think in practice it's probably going to be way too much effort and way too expensive to actually pull off. And
too much lag. They wouldn't be able to.
Oh yeah, it would be a logistical nightmare to set that up.
But it's a nice thought. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a nice thought.
But they are talking, in the case of hockey, of picking 4 cities and have all the playoff games be played in those 4 cities, since they're playing in empty arenas.
Oh yeah.
And they'll bring all the players to those 4 cities, quarantine them, test them regularly, keep them away from the general public, and allow them to play out their playoff in that style, and then televise everything. It would just be weird, because playoff hockey, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So, in terms of crowd interaction, so it would be weird to say the least.
Who knows what's happening with
And no team would ever have a home ice advantage in that case, because there's no crowd in front of them. So, what's baseball doing? You mentioned something.
I had heard that they're thinking about doing some sort of spring training just to keep the players, moving around and being ready, but otherwise it's still very much on lockdown.
Yeah.
My boss, I think last week, got furloughed, so.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was the head.
There can't be many people left working at the Durham Bulls.
No, it's mostly
the social media team is
promotions is
to keep the name out in front of the public.
Promotions is still there
because their social media accounts are still active. I follow them on Twitter, so
it's mostly damage control at this point.
Yeah,
working with promotions and the sales, because they had all these like sponsored nights like ready to go since like last year.
Yeah, and now if they come back this season at all, it's
Yeah.
going to be an abbreviated season.
Yeah.
So
Not much is happening with baseball. But who knows?
but I think they could potentially come back with fans. It would just take that stadium seats about 10,
Yeah.
12,000 seats.
Sell less
You'd have to
tickets.
reduce it down to about a quarter of that. You'd have to go every other row
Yeah.
and then put multiple seats between each group of fans.
Yeah.
Either a seat between each fan, but allow people that came to the game together to sit together.
But that's not ideal.
But at least there'd be some fans
Yeah.
there. And it would be at least 6 feet between them. And then require all fans to wear face masks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do something like that, but that
that's-
would cut into their revenues
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah. And with minor league baseball, at least, those margins are pretty slim.
Yeah. So you probably wouldn't see as much.
No.
I mean, you might not be going back to work for them at all.
Yeah. But I do wonder if they would broadcast the games on TV, because the team is owned by a local TV station.
They won't show it on TV because I don't think there's enough interest in minor league ball for TV, but they might stream them.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of production going into their stream.
Yes.
For audio, they pretty much just use the radio
Yeah.
feed. What you would hear on the local radio, that's the audio track for the internet stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a bit of a small production
Yeah.
on the video side.
And I have worked on baseball streams with App State. They were very
What's this guy doing?
distracting.
Is he turning around?
Anyway, I have worked on.
Just figured out he was going the wrong way. You're almost in town, buddy.
Probably took the wrong exit. Ala was confused.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She's not used to seeing trucks on her
I've
walk.
done baseball streams with App State. They're very simple.
Yeah.
We had
Well, the Durham Bulls are a little bit more to
Yeah.
it than that. They do have multiple cameras in their streams.
At App State, it was mostly like OBS with a little graphic that the stream manager, i.e. me,
Yeah.
would change whenever something happened, and then we had two commentators that the feed.
You wait a minute.
There's two commentators that we would hook up to a mic, and
Yeah.
and my job, I'm technically the video board operator,
Yeah.
but the program that they use to operate videos, the video board would be the same program that you use to do any sort of graphics.
Right.
So my
So that-
job would still be safe.
Yeah.
I can be either in-house or for a live stream.
Yeah.
Just the good thing about what I do
Yeah.
and the degree that I got. I'm very flexible.
You're gonna have to relearn everything though. You're out of
Oh,
practice.
I know, it's been so long. Hard. I haven't worked a game since December.
Yeah.
December was I worked App State basketball.
Yeah.
I think it's been a hot minute since I've actually been in sports broadcasting.
But good thing about that is so is everybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody else has done anything since March.
Yeah.
So, and here we are almost into May. Speaking of that, I saw a news story today. New Zealand
Yeah.
has declared victory over the coronavirus.
Oh.
They have, in their entire country, I'm not sure how many their population is. I know it's nothing like the US, but in their country, they have had 19 fatalities
Wow.
over total.
Well, I was watching videos before we went for a walk, and I did see They were talking about New Zealand.
Yeah.
And
They used very strict, very quickly, very strict restrictions.
they were very responsive about
Yep.
how they
On the
handled
shutdowns.
it.
And it basically, apparently they had nationwide, when they locked it down nationwide, and it was complete. They
Yeah.
told everybody, you stay where you are. I heard a story of one
Don't
family.
move.
I heard a story of one family who was on vacation somewhere, you know, they were from New Zealand, but they were on vacation in a different part of New Zealand from where they lived.
Yeah.
They have been in that vacation home for 2 months.
Wow.
Because
For free, or were they
yeah,
paying
they
for
were
it? Oh, damn.
the government told everybody nobody moves, and they did that for 2 solid months, and they have basically knocked it down, and they're restarting their economy
Yeah.
to at least 75% capacity.
Yeah, I did see that New Zealand's prime minister has something like an 80% approval
Yep.
rating on how she handled
Yep.
the coronavirus epidemic.
And whatever they did, it worked. Unfortunately, we got too many
They're also,
constitution beaters in this
Yeah.
country that won't accept that level of restriction, even though it would shorten this whole thing
Yeah.
if everybody would just cooperate and do it.
yeah, they're going hard into contact tracing right now, I think.
Yep.
And I'd heard that.
And extremely restrictive on people
Yeah.
coming and going from, because New Zealand's an island,
Yeah.
so people coming and going from New Zealand, very strict
Yeah.
restrictions.
Basically only necessary travel.
Are you kidding me? She's got to do that lawn.
Come on, we'll continue on. No, continue.
She's pooping on.
Continue.
She's trying to poop on a lawn that is a person that complains a lot
About dogs pooping
about
on
dogs
their lawn.
pooping on her lawn. Yeah.
Even if we pick it up.
Even if you pick it up, yeah. They're not liking it. So we need to move her along. All right. So yeah, congratulations to New Zealand for doing what the Americans can't do.
I'd heard the New Jersey governor actually called the
I
the
personally
health
would be
minister of New Zealand. to
I
get
personally would be
advice.
willing to go through, if we could shut it down for a month completely, like
Yeah.
you go to the store one last time and that's it. You are not moving for a month. And everything has to be delivered from that point on.
I mean, our stores are set up pretty well for delivery, plus minus.
But too many people are going out and doing whatever they want. The roads now are almost as busy as they
Yeah,
are in
they're-
normal times.
they're
Like
back
people
to
are,
being busy.
yep.
People are
The only-
out about
It's
shopping.
basically, from what I can tell, it's basically back to the way it is when schools are closed. Like
Yeah.
on a school holiday and there's no school, we're basically at that point. So the people that have to stay home, I didn't see anything drop.
No, nothing dropped.
It's just liquid.
Yeah.
Just make it look good. Yeah.
It's just levels.
Because there's somebody outside just over there. Not there, back there. So yeah, New Zealand has basically locked it down. They got very thorough contact tracing in place. They've got widespread testing. They've tested a significant portion of their general population,
And yet
which
that's still a problem here.
we can't do. I mean, granted, there's 350 million people in this country. To test that many people
Yeah.
is not realistic
But
in any case.
it still feels like. there
But
could be
you still
better.
can't get a test in this country if
Yeah.
even if you're showing symptoms, you can't get a test unless you start having severe symptoms
Yeah.
to the point where you need to go
Yeah.
to the hospital. If you're just feeling a little bit ill, they just tell you to stay at home, and those are not so they're talking we're just about to cross 1 million confirmed cases
Yeah.
in the U.S., but that doesn't count all the millions of people that have been told
Couldn't get a test and just be told to stay home for 2 weeks.
Stay
It'll work
home.
itself out.
and then effectively got better on their own
Yeah.
without without any medical intervention.
Yeah.
There's probably millions of those people, so
Yeah.
we still have no clue how many people had it in this country or have
We
it.
won't.
We probably won't. For all I know, we've had it.
Yeah.
I mean, we work in grocery stores, for crying out loud. So, all right. Well, we reached the end of our walk, so we got to wrap it up.
Yep.
So I don't know when the next time we'll do this again, but until we do, we'll see you then.
Yeah.
All right.